Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the last Halloween wreath that I make, and I'm just showing you some really cute ribbon, wired ribbon that I got from Craft Outlet. That is so stinking cute. I got that Deco Mesh from Craft Outlet, as well as this eye sign. Now, my wreath frame is a 14-inch wreath frame from the Dollar Tree. And here I'm showing you two crossbars, and in between the crossbars is a section that has 4 metal rings. You've got the inner 2 and the outer 2. The outer 2 are the bigger ones. Now in each section I'm going to apply 3 pipe cleaners, 1 on the inner 2 excuse me, rings, and 2 on the outer 2 rings. Now I like to create my own work wreaths because I find it more affordable, and I try to make sure that I keep my materials down as much as possible in order to be able to sell affordable wreaths to those that really enjoy them. Now with this wreath frame there are 6 sections, and with 3 pipe cleaners in each, that's a total of 18 pipe cleaners that you'll need to create your own work wreath. This eye is it has PDF, it's PDF material. Wait, am I saying that right? I forget. It's that faux wood stuff. And now that I'm thinking PDF, I'm thinking of like computer PDF stuff. Anyways, I hope y'all know what I'm trying to say. But it did come with a jute cord on it to hang it with, and I just cut that off. Now I'm taking a couple of cable ties that I got from Amazon. I'm removing the backing and I'm placing it at the top and the bottom of the sign. Once I've done that, I'm taking my favorite hot glue, which is the Gorilla hot glue, and I am just adding a layer of hot glue to seal the perimeter of those cable mounts. And you know, sometimes with the weather, depending where you're at, I know here in Texas it gets pretty hot, so I like to be able to seal it as much as possible because I don't want the adhesive to kind of get too bad and then the sign just fall off. So doing it this way works wonders. Now I just take a regular pipe cleaner and feed it through the cable mount. I'm a little OCD, so I make sure I try to find the center point. I make my little tails on the pipe cleaner even. That's what you see me measuring there, and then I just give it a good couple of twists just to make sure it's on there secured. So I have this 21-inch Deco Mesh that I had left over that I used for another project, and so I'm just going to take it and use it on this wreath frame to make my little poof methods. So I'm gonna get out 2 zip ties, color of choice, it doesn't matter. And so what I do is I'm just folding the ends inward, actually, yeah. And then I take the little tail that I've created and I will attach it to the bottom portion of the, oh my goodness, the bottom portion of the crossbar, which is actually like the second to last outer ring. And once I get that nice and secure, I take my zip tie gun and it tightens it as far down as you can get it, and then it cuts that little end off. And then I just for me, again, I'm OCD, I like to just cut that little extra piece off. You don't have to if you don't want to, because it'll absolutely be covered up with the rest of the Deco Mesh that you add. But that's just how I like to do it. So I take that zip tie and I use it as a starting measurement. And I'm going to measure out, I believe I measured out 10-inch poufs all around the outer portion of the wreath frame. So the 12 pipe cleaners on the outside. So then once I attach it to the next pipe cleaner, I take the pipe cleaner that I just added the Deco Mesh to, and I create that. I use that as a 0 starting point again and measure out 10 inches. So you can kind of see here what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of the screen there. Didn't realize. But so as I'm getting almost complete with the outer portion of the wreath, I start seeing that it's how much is left on the roll is a little questionable. So I do go ahead and I start making 9-inch poufs. So from that last pipe cleaner on the bottom row, I did that as a starting point and measured out my apologies. I measured out 8 inches. And then that seemed to work really well, and it covered all of the 6 pipe cleaners in the center. And then just as I attached the beginning of the Deco Mesh is exactly how I ended the Deco Mesh. So everything worked out well, using 10 poufs on the outside and 8-inch poufs on the inside. So I'm taking this, it's like a fabric mesh, and I love plaid, and so I really love this, and I love these colors for Halloween. For Halloween, I like to have my stuff pretty colorful. And so I'm just taking and cutting them at 20-inch pieces. Now the reason I'm doing that is because I have 18 pipe cleaners. Each roll is 10-inch mesh, 10 yards. It's 10 inches by 10 yards, and so that equals out to be 360 inches. So I take the 360 inches and divide that by 18, and that gives me 20. So that's why I'm cutting it at 20 inches. Now, you see me cutting with scissors. It started snagging a little bit when I was using my rotary, and it could be just because my blade was a little old, but it started snagging, so I went ahead and I finished the rest of the cuts with my scissors, and it worked out well. So I'm actually doing a ruffle method. Goodness. What I do is I take my starting point at one end, and I kind of fold it under about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. And I fold that under, and then I just use my fingers and I walk up the middle. And then once I get to the other end, and you'll see me here in just a second. So here I fold it under. I'm walking my fingers up. And as I get to the opposite end, because it's curling on its own, it's still going to have a little curls and a portion of it folded under. So again, I do it between 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, and then I just attach it to the top of the pipe cleaner. I do not undo the pipe cleaner. I actually just set it right on top and just keep going. To me, it doesn't make a difference if you open the pipe cleaner and add it in or not. As you see there, because these are the end pieces, they stay really curly. Sometimes they don't want to come out straight, so you can get that good ruffle. So I just kind of jerk mine back and forth and it helps me. So everybody's going to have their own style, technique of how they do things, but this is just how I like to do it. Sorry for being out of frame again. I have my camera that obviously is, you know, filming from up above, and I can't really see the I can't see the how it's looking on there. So this is what it looks like when all of the 10-inch mesh is on there. It's nice and full. So I have my 1-inch wired ribbon. Again, this is from Craft Outlet, and I'm just cutting this at an angle. So I start off at about an inch at the bottom of one side and cut up to the other side. And I kind of do the same for my dovetails. So once I fold my 2.5-inch ribbon, then I start at an inch at the bottom and cut upwards toward the point. Now you'll notice that I cut dovetails in both ends of the 2.5-inch ribbon, but I only cut an angle for the 1.5-inch ribbon, and you'll see why. And I'm doing this a little bit different than I normally do, so that's why I just, on the 2.5-inch ribbon, I fold it in half, find the center point, bunch it up, and then I apply it to the pipe cleaner. So here with the 1.5-inch, on the side that I did not cut the angle, I fold that over and I make a loop. And at the point where I make the loop, I attach that to the pipe cleaner. Now I'm just tucking the pipe cleaner away. I will end up cutting the end of it off and then tuck it away even more. But this is just a little different method of putting the ribbon on, where it's got one tail and a loop. So we've actually got a total of 3 tails and 1 loop for each pipe cleaner. And I think it makes it look really cute and a little bit different. So here I'm just showing you again. Found the center point, bunched it up, and now here I'm using my finger to make a curl. I run the ribbon over my finger to make it curl at the end. Attach it to the pipe cleaner. Take my non-cut end, fold it back, and make a loop. And then I take that loop and I attach it right in the pipe cleaner, and I give a few good twists. I make sure it's in there nice and tight. And again here, I start off trying to put it in the back and stuff, but as you see here, I will end up cutting the rest of that off. I do make sure that I put it in the back so it's not showing in the front. Just taking my tails and making sure they're curled nicely and in a good placement, and making sure that I fluff out the loop. Okay, this is what it looks like to have one little section filled in. And I really like how the colors of the Deco Mesh are peeking through. So once I have all my ribbon on, then I'm going to go ahead and take my sign. And what I'm doing when I lifted up the wreath is I'm trying to find the a good place where a section is centered at the top and at the bottom. And then here I'm just attaching my sign to the wreath frame at the top and the bottom, making sure it's nice and tight. But you want to make sure that when you're adding your sign to your wreath, you're not doing it so tight that it pulls your sign down. You kind of want to just have your sign sitting at the top very lightly, but make sure that when you're twisting, your twists are tight and that it's not going to go anywhere. So once I have my sign on, then I will make sure all the little loops around the sign are nice and visible. And then kind of like up at the top left there where that Deco Mesh is peeking out, I'll go back and I'll tuck that in as well. That way everything will look nice and pretty. Now I'm actually going to take this one and put this on my door. So y'all tell me what you think. I'd love to hear your comments. And thank you for joining me once again. And you guys have a very blessed week. Bye-bye.